After saying he was out, now Bill Maris is returning to the investing world. The founding CEO of Google Ventures has raised $150 million for his new fund called Section 32. Joining us now in an exclusive interview, Bill Maris, former CEO of Google Ventures. At GV, he oversaw investments in startups ranging from Uber to Slack and Cloudera. Bill, great to have you back here on the show.
Nice to see you.
So last time you were here, you said you were out. You said we were at peak VC. The market's too crowded. What changed?
You know, so yes, I'm back, so thank you. I think we still are at peak VC, but I wasn't entirely happy with the fund that I was constituting in terms of the investor base, et cetera, so I decided to take a minute, kind of reconstitute it, and build a smaller, more focused fund. And I think the majority of the companies I'll invest in are built around relationships I've built over the last 10 years or so.
So if we are at peak VC and Goldman Sachs says there's like $120 billion pent up to invest in technology, how do you break in? How do you differentiate yourself?
Well, hopefully I don't have to break in. Hopefully I'm already in to some degree. And with a smaller fund, I have the advantage to be very selective in the companies that I invest in, the people that I hire. And I think that's in an environment where there is potentially overfunding, selectivity is your ally.
You don't often see lone wolves in VC. You're doing this on your own.
Am I a wolf?
You're doing this from San Diego, where you live, and you're not just investing in health and biotech, but tech proper, which is super competitive. You know, how do you think that you can step up?
Well, I've lived in San Diego for years. I sort of exist in the cloud, I think. So I think especially coming out of San Francisco, the idea that we're limited by geography is kind of crazy. I think Chris Sacca's fund is probably the best returning fund of all time, and he didn't live in San Francisco. So
he also got some partners ultimately.
He did, and I would say stay tuned on that front.
Okay, so you don't necessarily plan to do it all by yourself?
No. I think for now, but not forever.
So where are you going to be placing your bets? I mean, what's exciting to you?
Yeah, so I think that there are, more readily available in my mind are the things that I think are getting excess attention: AI, machine learning, VR, et cetera. Even healthcare, which I've been a huge advocate for, has become a very trendy area for investment, which means subject to frothiness or overfunding. And that leaves huge parts of the market available, whether in agricultural tech or other applications of tech. For example, I've been spending a lot of time looking at the food chain. I'm pretty interested in that space.
Interesting that you bring that up, because we've been talking a lot about Juicero, which was a GV investment, and I'm sure you saw Bloomberg did a big piece about how this is a juice machine, got hundreds of millions of dollars in funding, and our reporters here discovered that you could squeeze out just as much juice by hand as with the juice machine itself. I mean, was that a mistake?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we don't know how the company plays out from here. They've got great leadership, and my understanding is they have ample cash available, and it's still going. It's a going concern. I think my time in the Valley has taught me one thing, that some people, when they see a balloon, they just want to pop it. Like, they just want to be like a tack and like poke at it, and so I would say there might have been a little bit too much of kicking someone when they're down there.
What about Uber? Speaking of, a lot of PR issues over the last several months, a lot of culture issues, lawsuits. Yeah. What's gone wrong there?
The parallels between Uber and what's going on at the White House are just hard for me not to draw. They're having a bad time, and fundamentally, that's probably due to a fundamental lack of leadership. So there's a lot of great people there, friends of mine, and I'd love to see the company pull out of this, but they're having a bad couple months.
So you're comparing Travis Kalanick to Donald Trump. How so?
Well, you're comparing. I said the White House and Uber. Look, I think when it comes to the White House, I think we should be gravely concerned about what's going on there. At least I am.
Why?
First time in my lifetime that I've ever felt that our institutions are unstable or unpredictable. And I think there's one thing that we as a people should cherish is a little bit of consistency and reliability in our federal government. And I think it's a confusing time.
So what does that mean for Uber? Let's continue with the metaphor.
Yeah. I think when we look at Uber, you've got a company that's transformative, that is in a period of struggle. And I think Google faced that, Facebook faced that. I think this is an unprecedented situation because it's a company at such scale that generates such attention and is available to consumers kind of all over the place. So I don't know how it plays out from here, but I'm hopeful.
Is Travis still the right person to be leading the company?
I don't think I'm the right person to answer that. I don't work there. I haven't been in their offices in a long time. I think that the employees of Uber are the right people to answer that question, and hopefully they're being asked.
How is Trump impacting the landscape in Silicon Valley, the funding landscape? Is he having an impact?
Well, I mean, I think it's a truism that markets like predictability and not unknowns. There's a lot of unknowns coming out of Washington and surprises, and some of those aren't pleasant ones. I mean, I turn on the news every morning and I think, okay, what crazy thing has happened this morning? Mm-hmm. And that creates a general anxiety. It's not good for the market. It's not good for people. So
how is that going to influence the choices that you make when running your new fund?
I don't know. I think we'll see. It's I've never really been that influenced by Washington and policymakers outside of, they set the ground rules of the way the market operates, and those haven't changed very much. But the instability in Washington is something to keep an eye on.